Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India and the EU to sign a defense and security pact in addition to a historic free trade agreement. New and Renewable Energy Minister Prasar Joshi tells Davos that India's green transition is now a mass movement. And US President Trump launches the Board of Peace for Gaza at Davos. New and Renewable Energy Minister Prasar Joshi took part in the Stakeholders Dialogue session titled Energy, the Great Funding Gap at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Minister Joshi said that India has scaled the total renewable energy capacity to 267 gigawatts, including solar and wind. This transformation has been supported by a robust manufacturing ecosystem.
In the last 10-11 years, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Modi, what has been done, 267 gigawatt we have already reached as far as renewables are concerned. Means more than 52% of the energy mix is from the renewable now. We are having the manufacturing capacity of 144 gigawatt of module manufacturing, 27 gigawatt of cell manufacturing, which is going to shortly reach 50 gigawatt. Wafer and ingots, very shortly we will start manufacturing in India. Entire cycle we are completing. Sure. And wind is also, we are doing it, it is now 55 gigawatt.
Minister Joshi said that India's green transition has become a people's movement at the grassroots. He highlighted that this transformation has been achieved while maintaining the economic growth of the nation.
The clean energy manufacturing, this has turned the transition, as I said, into the people's movement. So because of that, overall, our in country today, what we have done in last 10 years, that is an example. At the same time, India is not growing. Our growth is highest in the world today. Nearly about 6 to 8% in last almost except 2 or 3 years of the COVID. The Prime Minister Modi's leadership has given us such a direction. We are the fastest growing economy.
At the World Economic Forum in Davos, IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav held a series of meetings with global industry leaders, underscoring India's growing stature as a trusted global value chain partner. The minister met Temasek chairperson Teo Chi Hyun, Maersk CEO Vincent Clerc, and Honeywell's Global Regions President and CEO Anant Maheshwari. These engagements at Davos reinforce India's position as a global investment destination and a key partner in next-generation technologies, infrastructure, and manufacturing. And Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu held a discussion with EU Transport Commissioner Apostolos Tzitzikostas on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Their dialogue focused on sustainability and innovation in the transport sector, emphasizing the importance of advancing EU-India engagement across the ecosystem. The discussions also included enhanced coordination between the European Union Aviation Safety Agency and India's Directorate General of Civil Aviation to further improve aviation safety standards. US President Donald Trump described his meeting with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky as good. The two leaders met on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos. President Trump called for Russia's war on Kiev to end. When asked about his message to Russia's President Vladimir Putin, President Trump said the war has to end. President Putin will meet President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff in Moscow on Thursday. President Trump on Thursday unveiled a board of peace for Gaza with the signing ceremony attended by 20 countries at the World Economic Forum in Davos. President Trump said that Iran wants to hold talks with the U.S. and that Washington, D.C. was willing to do so. He recalled that the U.S. had struck Iranian uranium enrichment sites last year to prevent Tehran from making a nuclear weapon.
We obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity with we call it Operation Midnight Hammer. It was midnight, it was dark, no moon, and every single one of those bombs from the B-2 bombers hit the air shafts and went deep into the earth and totally obliterated everything that they were doing. They were 2 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen. And Iran does want to talk, and we'll talk.
U.S. President Trump has stepped back from threats to impose tariffs as leverage to seize Greenland, ruled out the use of force, and said that a deal was in sight to end a dispute over the Danish territory. President Trump said that he had agreed with the head of NATO on a framework of a future deal on Arctic security, potentially diffusing tensions that had far-reaching geopolitical implications. President Trump said that Western Arctic allies could forge a new deal that satisfies his desire for a Golden Dome missile defense system and access to critical minerals while blocking Russia and China's ambitions in the Arctic. The announcement came hours after President Trump's speech at Davos, where he repeated that the U.S. needed Greenland for national and global security and said that NATO members could agree to U.S. control.
That people jumped at, really fantastic for the USA, gets everything we wanted, including especially real national security and international security.
How so? Can you give us some details, please?
Well, the deal is going to be put out pretty soon, and we'll see. It's right now a little bit in progress, but pretty far along. It gets us everything we needed to get. It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals and everything else.
Meanwhile, NATO chief Mark Rutte said that he had not discussed the key issue of Danish sovereignty over Greenland in his meeting with President Trump. He shared few details about the supposed framework for the deal announced by President Trump. Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Thursday welcomed U.S. President Trump's shift on Greenland and urged the Europeans not to be too quick to write off the transatlantic partnership. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Chancellor Merz said that the Europeans, especially Germans, value the trust on which NATO rests, warning that any attempt to seize European territory by force is unacceptable.
I welcome President Trump's remarks from last night. This is the right way because any threat to acquire European territory by force would be unacceptable. And new tariffs would also undermine the foundations of transatlantic relations.
India and the European Union have agreed to sign a new security and defense partnership. The announcement was made by EU's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas ahead of the 60th EU-India summit scheduled to take place in New Delhi on Tuesday. The EU official said that Europe is ready to deliver on a powerful new agenda with India, a part of which includes expanding cooperation in areas such as maritime security, counterterrorism and cyber defense, and the signing of an India-EU free trade agreement as well.
We aim to conclude negotiations on the EU-India Free Trade Agreement. This deal will open markets, remove barriers and strengthen critical supply chains in clean technologies, pharmaceuticals and semiconductors. Second, today we agreed to move forward with the signature of a new EU-India security and defence partnership in areas like maritime security, cybersecurity and counterterrorism. We will also launch negotiations on a security of information agreement. In a more dangerous world, we will both gain from working closer together. We also intend to conclude a memorandum of understanding on comprehensive framework on cooperation on mobility. This will facilitate movement for seasonal workers, students, researchers and highly skilled professionals while promoting research and innovation.
The official said that the two major democracies must cooperate more, especially in the changing, unprecedented world order, stressing that India and the EU have renewed political momentum and clear sense of purpose.
The EU and India are moving closer together at the time when the rules-based international order is under unprecedented pressure through wars, coercion and economic fragmentation. Two major democracies cannot afford to hesitate. We must become more ambitious partners.
The EU official also said that Europe and India could help anchor stability in the Indo-Pacific.
In the Indo-Pacific and beyond, Europe and India can help anchor stability by defending open sea lanes, strengthening maritime domain awareness, and resisting coercion in all of its forms. Honourable members, this summit matters for what it sets in motion, a more ambitious, more operational EU-India partnership. We have an opportunity to turn political momentum into progress for our citizens, for our companies, our economies, and also upholding rules-based order on which our security and prosperity depend.
The European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will attend India's Republic Day celebrations as chief guests on 26 January, with the India-EU summit scheduled for the following day. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar interacted with ambassadors from EU countries on Thursday. Minister Jaishankar said that he was pleased to meet EU ambassadors and discussed about a world where volatility and instability are the new normal. He made a strong case for deeper India-EU relations to de-risk the global economy through resilient supply chains, providing public goods and development projects, and stabilizing the global order through stronger trade, mobility and security partnerships. He shared that he looks forward to welcoming the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, to India for the Republic Day celebrations. Japan has suspended the restart of the world's largest nuclear power plant just hours after the process began, though the reactor remained stable. Operations to relaunch a reactor at the Kashiwazaki Kariwa plant in Niigata province began late on Wednesday local time after it received the final green light from the nuclear regulator. Kashiwazaki Kariwa is the world's biggest nuclear power plant by potential capacity, although just one reactor of 7 was restarted. It has been closed since the 2011 Fukushima disaster. Campaigning for Bangladesh's 13th Jatiyo সংসদ election formally begins today, following the allocation of election symbols and confirmation of final candidates. Nearly 2,000 candidates are contesting the elections for 300 parliamentary seats. Voting, along with a nationwide referendum, will be held on 12th February. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party is set to launch its official campaign from Sylhet, with party chairperson Tariq Rahman scheduled to join rallies in 7 districts on day 1. The Jamaat-e-Islami's Amir Shafiqur Rahman will also begin his campaign on Thursday in Dhaka. The start of campaigning comes amid heightened scrutiny of the electoral environment as major parties step up outreach while voicing concerns over fairness in the run-up to polling day. With Bangladesh heading into an election, serious questions are being raised about security preparedness after the country's army chief revealed that more than a third of weapons looted during the 2024 uprising are still unaccounted for, heightening fears of political violence and attacks on minorities. Bangladesh's Army Chief General Waqaruzzaman said on Wednesday that 3,619 weapons were looted from police stations across the country during the 2024 mass uprising. About 62.4% of the weapons have since been recovered, leaving 37.6% still in circulation ahead of the 12th February election and a simultaneous referendum. The general made the disclosures at a high-level meeting on law and order chaired by Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus. The meeting was attended by advisors, the National Security Advisor and the chiefs of the Navy and Air Force as well. Still to come on DD India Live. Prasar Bharati CEO and Director General inspect public broadcaster Doordarshan's preparations for the telecast of Republic Day Parade. And Haryana leads the medals tally on day 3 of the Khelo India Winter Games. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. India has stepped up its humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, delivering 7.5 tons of critical cancer medicines. The Ministry of External Affairs said that India delivered the medicines to Kabul to address the urgent needs of patients there. India remains committed to supporting the people of Afghanistan. India has condemned an incident of trespassing and vandalism at its embassy in Croatia. It recalled the Vienna Convention, stressing that diplomatic premises are inviolable and must be protected. Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar on Thursday held a bilateral meeting with Mexico's electoral counselor at the India International Conference on Democracy and Election Management. The Chief Election Commissioner offered India's services to strengthen and enhance electoral service delivery. Following the meeting, the Mexico's electoral counselor described the meeting as productive.
Well, it has been a very amazing experience. I mean, to come to India from the other side of the world, I think this has been a very, not just interesting, but productive meeting. We have the opportunity to listen. For example, yesterday, we had the opportunity to listen many of the concerns that we as electoral management bodies around the world.
At least 10 Indian Army personnel were dead and several others injured after a vehicle of the Rashtriya Rifles met with a fatal accident on the Bhaderwa-Chamba interstate road near Khanni Top on Thursday. The vehicle was carrying 21 soldiers on routine high-altitude surveillance when it reportedly skidded off the road at an altitude of 9,000 feet and plunged into a deep gorge. According to the Additional Deputy Commissioner of Bhaderwa, 10 fatalities have been confirmed. 10 injured soldiers were airlifted to the Command Hospital, Udhampur. Home Minister Amit Shah condoled the deaths and prayed for the quick recovery of the injured. And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh extended his condolences to the families of the deceased. Right, now take a look at what else is making news in India. India's High Commissioner to Singapore inaugurated the second edition of the Indian Film Festival featuring 21 films. He said that the festival has emerged as a key platform for strengthening people-to-people ties between the two countries. Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar on Thursday launched a new digital interface for voters, officials and political parties calling it a tool to counter misinformation. He offered support to election management bodies from other countries attending an international conference to develop similar tools in line with their laws and languages. The Indian Air Force will showcase the Sindoor formation during the flypast and the Republic Day parade. The formation will include aircraft that took part in Operation Sindoor, 2 Rafale jets, 2 Sukhoi 30s, 2 MiG-29s, and 1 Jaguar, symbolizing India's air power. The Chief Executive Officer of Prasar Bharati, Gaurav Dwivedi, the Director General of Doordarshan, Satish Namboodiripad, and the Director General of DD News, Mamta Verma, on Thursday inspected the production control room and cameras of the public broadcaster Doordarshan set up at Kartavya Path for the telecast of the Republic Day parade. 50 HD's cameras will be beaming the parade live from Kartavya Path, National War Memorial and Rashtrapati Bhavan on all DD channels, YouTube channels and waves. DD India's Nandita Dagar spoke to the CEO of Prasar Bharati in this regard.
Prasar Bharati has had the privilege of covering the Republic Day parade for many years now. Initially starting with Akashvani and later Doordarshan. And every year we scale up our preparations to keep up with the technology and to ensure that audiences in India and all over the world are able to see the splendor of the Republic Day parade. And there are a total of more than 50 cameras that have been placed in various locations at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, at the Kartavya Path, at the National War Memorial, as well as the India Gate surrounding areas.
All right, now to all the news from the world of sport. Khelo India Winter Games enters day 3 in the sub-zero conditions of Leh. Athletes are competing in group matches of ice hockey, while short track and long track speed skating has begun. Earlier on Wednesday, the first gold medals of the games were decided, all in figure skating. Haryana bagged 2 gold medals, while Uttarakhand and Kerala won 1 each. Haryana currently tops the medal tally with 5 medals overall, including 1 silver and 2 bronze medals. Figure skating made its debut in the Ladakh leg of the games. An Olympic sport known for its grace and poise, 20 figure skaters from 5 states and 2 union territories competed across 2 categories. Andhra Pradesh's Jessie Raj, a Prime Minister's National Child Award recipient, has added another milestone to her young career by winning silver in figure skating at the Khelo India Winter Games. Speaking to DD India, Jessie shared her journey on ice, her international medals and the unforgettable moment of meeting Prime Minister Modi.
One of the most oldest winter sports, figure skating, has already left a mark in this edition of the Winter Games. With me right now is the silver medalist in advanced short girls figure skating, Jessie Raj. Jessie has also been awarded the PM's National Child Award in the year 2025. Jessie, first of all, many congratulations to you. When did you begin figure skating? What inspired you? And from where did you came across the figure skating?
Hello, so I'm basically a roller skater. I started skating in 2021. As I live in Andhra Pradesh, and in south side we have no much facility for ice. We started in roller skating. I started during my schooling, looking at my friends and all.
So you were the recipient of PM National Child Award, and you got the award from President Draupadi Murmu, and you interacted with PM Modi. So how was the experience? What PM told you?
That will be the best thing I got in my life, because I was honored with the highest award as a child I can. That was given for me in sports category. And meeting President was very, I can't even express that in words.
Jessie, you have won medals at the international level also in roller skating. So how was the experience competing at the world level with all the top skaters?
Competing in international level, it's really good because they have different techniques. We can learn new things from them as their coaching techniques are a little different. Looking at many skaters, I try adopting their skills and all. I think it's more like a learning platform there.
Thank you so much, Jessie, and all the best. So that was Jessie, who was telling her experience of competing at the international level. She was also awarded the PM's National Child Award for her outstanding achievements in sports at a very young age. With cameraman Jagmohan Pradhan, Abhishek Prasad, DD India.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. You can get the latest news on the DD India mobile app on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.